So we are weaving community, and I am Ayesha, she, her, and your majesty, fighting the invisibility of older women 24/7, 365. So just want to say, what are we doing here? Why are we here? I believe that community is essential to our awakening, developing that muscle to be with each other in real life. All right, that's why I'm here. That's why this offering. Weaving is to take our strands and bring them together so that we can be stronger, so we can be warmer, so we can develop that capacity to know the difference between life and harm. All right, which I believe is essential going forward. We can create together a culture of capacity rather than a culture of brittleness and fragility. All right, because that's what true community is. Yeah, you know, I'm going to be cursing, you know, somebody, you know, you're going to roll the eyes, somebody going to put, you know, stuff in the food. I go back into the kitchen, right? We in the kitchen together. And yeah, we might want a lobster roll or, you know, mung beans from Peru, but for real, we got mayonnaise and tuna fish, okay? And how we can be with the mayonnaise and the tuna fish. And we looking around and maybe somebody's looking for some, well, look, can we at least put salt and pepper on, baby? Look for the salt and pepper. And why are you looking for the salt and pepper? Maybe you're going to bump into somebody and, or a toe may get stepped on. And that's what happens when we're together. We're going to be moving, you know, cutting up the onions and, you know, don't you know you can put that underneath? No, you know, baby, I'm cutting the onions and I bump and I get cut or so. That's just what happens when we're in the kitchen together, when we're in practice together. Now, if I take the knife and I stab your finger, now that's a different conversation, okay? But that's not what's happening. So I'd like to begin with you just appreciating yourself for not just being here, but choosing to be on this path of awareness. Because everybody ain't able. Everybody is not blessed to, in the midst of the storm, to open their eyes rather than close their eyes. So give yourself just a few moments of just saying, look at me. Look at me. I like to even suggest just giving myself a little hug, like, girl, you know, I did this. I'm here. Snoop Dogg says, if you're breathing, you're achieving. You know, look at us achieving all over the place. And so let's come in on the truth. So I am of a stolen lineage on stolen land. This land is the Piscataway, the Cherokee, the Lumbee, and those known and unknown. So I want to call in those indigenous folks that were on this land and are on this land. And just call in their journey in this world of the living and the dying, of the creating and the destroying, and the love that was never defeated, of that understanding of the land that was never defeated. And I want to call in my lineage on this land, who were stolen from their homes and their loved ones and their languages and their religions, and brought to a place to work from can't see to can't see, and whose not just physical labor were taken, but whose intellectual property was stolen. And I want to acknowledge that they found a way out of no way. Because I'm here. Much to the surprise of people that had plans for us. I want to acknowledge that resilience, that human resilience in African bodies. On the land. I want to acknowledge this Asian portal that we have entered, that has been moving around and gifted to this world for 2,600 years. And the Asian peoples on these lands who were building and creating on this land, built a railroad and nowhere in the picture. Put in concentration camps called internment centers. Calling all that in, calling in that resilience on this land. And I want to call in the people that came here, some through Ellis Island before they were white, before they got to be white. Came here thinking that maybe the streets were gold, and finding that there were no streets, heartbreak, disappointment. And even as they made their way to whiteness, I want to call in the before times, the famine times in Ireland, the pogrom times in Eastern Europe. I want to call in that before the white and got on this land. And so calling in all of that complexity and welcoming them into this space, acknowledging the truth and the complex journey. They are here because we are here. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back into our circle. Now, before I call in Little Nas X, I want to talk a little bit about being outlaws, because that's what I think we are. You know, I want to define an outlaw because, you know, definitions are important. And it's being outside of the protection of the legal system. You know, outside of the orthodoxy. Outside of the norms. I invite everyone into queerness in this moment. Into the, you can't be protected in this delusional world, but we can find protection in the queerness, in being transgressive. For some of us, it's being even in the color that we are. For others, it's the gender that we are, you know. But you want to just bring all of that together in this really interesting month that acknowledges Black history and love. And of course, it's the shortest month, but we're going to work with it because that's what we do. We're going to work with it. So now we're going to bring in Little Nas X. Okay. I hope y'all received that blessing. I particularly want you to rest in can't nobody tell me nothing. Okay. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I believe this is an outlaw community. And rather than trying to find new ways to conform to each other, we ain't got to do that. The invitation in this community is to wake up, be free more than you want to conform. Because everybody getting an A. I just want to tell you, I'm a preschool teacher, relax, you're passing, this is good. But the conditions, we come in here with pre-existing conditions, but we don't have to be ashamed, you know? We can be outlaws. Now, I want to bring in, everything is together, I'm bringing everything together, so just so you know, Black men were cowboys, white men were cow hands, because this is America and this is what we're doing. And eventually they looked over at the cowboys and said, they look like they having fun, let me take that. I don't know if that's historically true, but I feel like energetically that's true. So one of my offerings is, what does it mean to be at this intersection that I've lived in, right? I mean, I've got about, those of you that had popsicle sticks, you know, they go like this and go like this, and then, you know, you get more popsicle sticks. I'm just, the whole structure is an intersection. And part of that means all of those intersections prepared me to awaken. All the things that everybody thought was wrong, that I thought was wrong, prepared me to have the capacity to go, oh snap, this is bullshit. Sometimes it's hard, particularly those of us coming from the different intersections, race and queerness, because you're constantly, and particularly in the queer lens, you're feeling what you're not supposed to feel. No structure is supporting your awareness. There's no structure saying, oh, this is okay. So to even touch into it is the equivalent of jumping off a cliff, you know. And rather than, and let's expand queerness, right? All the ways in which you have that calling, and people looking at you like you're crazy. I mean, a lot of queer people have been put in institutions. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And what does it mean to, in my case, at 4 or 5, at Howard Theater, looking at Stormy DeLuvier in a shark skin suit and seeing not, oh, I want to have relationships, sexual relations, but this is the portal for me. This is the juiciness, the sweetness for me. years and years later, that same following this mystery. Oh, not that other people can't do their own portals, but to finally give myself over to my portal of awareness. It's all portals of awareness. It's all an invitation to be in here, but not with, I gotta do it. I mean, it breaks my heart to hear people on this path be so harsh with themselves. And if you're harsh with yourself, you probably are not want to connect, because part of that self denigration requires isolation. That voice of separateness, that voice of not enough, that not all of those voices need the foundation of separateness. Lack of trust. I'm telling y'all this, don't tell your friends. Shit is always going to be happening. It's always going to be happening. Underwear on, underwear off. It's always going to be happening. We're a mess. Because we're human. That's not a condition to be dealt with. We don't need to go see the normal doctor. The doctor that's going to make us not tired, not exhausted. I'm gonna go. I mean, you can go, people can get those pills, you can get Red Bull, it'll jump you up, but ultimately it doesn't work. Can't nobody tell me nothing. That is the gift of these intersections. Because we've already done the brave thing. It's just remembering. One of the things that happens is to try to make you forget, right? Forgetfulness, amnesia. It works on amnesia. Okay, you Black, but let's get that diction together. Start wearing those corduroys and I don't know, sweater vests. Get some letters and numbers. And you too can be Clarence Thomas when you grow up. Or, you too can be that silly woman they just got on there. I forgot her name. I just pray for her adopted Black daughter. But, we need each other because we are prone to forgetfulness. Nothing is wrong. That's why community is so important. You're going to forget that can't nobody tell you nothing. Particularly those of you in communities and families where people are trying to tell you, you don't know what you know. You don't feel what you feel. It's a sad thing to not have support from people in theory that's supposed to support you, because that longing is there. To be trusted that you're on a good path. And it's hurtful and heartbreaking when that does not exist, or exists sometimes, or exists under certain conditions. The Dharma doesn't have any conditions except, baby, let's be free. Let's be free. Then, of course, people idolize dead queer people because that's how we like our heroes, Black and queer. We like them dead, and that's where they're safe. That's where they're safe. But I want to call on that transgender woman that looks transgender. We tend to love the ones. That's right. Bring Audra in here. Yes, with her fabulous lesbian self. We want them to be a certain kind of way because that's what we taught. Not because we're mean, but that's injected in it's got to be. I like totally feminine. We had surgery at the right age and had the money. Transgender people. We don't like the big, thick, butch lesbians. Okay, I do. I adore them. If you know some 60 and over, let's, do a sister break. No, I'm just saying real talk, but that fear, right? That. So June Jordan, let me see if I can find June Jordan, because June Jordan, I have her on my altar because, she tells us, I am not wrong. Wrong is not my name. I would encourage y'all to have a script, together for yourself. When those whispers comes, waswasim, the whisperer. That's right, James. That's right. And call them in. We have a protector practice in this community. Call on your queer protectors. Call on your protectors. This is what Thich Nhat Hanh says. He says, so perhaps first of all, resistance means oppositions to being invaded, occupied, assaulted, and destroyed by the system. James is not a pretty gay boy, okay? He got the big eyes. He does not fit the profile, and neither do I, and neither do you. But we can choose to connect to all the stuff that's what's supposed to be wrong with us. And instead of investigating it, you might want to luxuriate in it. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I've said this before. It's so, and this is, I know this stuff is triggering because love is been used in such a wicked way in this world. It's been used like a sledgehammer in religious communities, in mindfulness communities, in families. And because it's always conditional. It's never, people trying to get something. I understand that. I have called myself loving someone, and what I really was doing was trying to extract acceptance, care, refuge, support. And we know real love, doesn't expect anything. And it comes from a centered place. Stay on the lotus, okay? Sit on that lotus. I know many of us have those pictures in our house, you know, Green Tara don't come out her lotus. She said, baby, I got you. I got you. She's very fabulous, very queer, you know. And she said, I got you, but I'm staying right here. Okay. Because if by staying on on the lotus, I am coming from a place of centeredness. And I'm right here. But if you can't reach me, that means you're not ready yet. And I can't do anything about that, because you have to be ready to receive true love. You got to be ready to receive true love. And the beautiful and really difficult part of this, we can't accept it if we don't give it to ourselves. How are we going to accept it from Green Tar if we don't give it to ourselves? Miriam, you good. Take care. Yeah. You know, we've got, that's what we're doing here. Supporting each other in our queerness, in our Blackness, in our confusion, in our exhaustion, in the fact that we haven't opened up our mail this week, in the fact that we're looking at the account and going, oh, well, who we paying? Whatever that is. Or looking at a job going, I know they're trying to kill me and I can't quit today. You know, all of that. Nothing's wrong. It's life. And by virtue of your presence in here, you have already done the hard stuff. Bringing awareness to it again and again and again. So let me read a poem by Maya Angelou, Touched by an Angel. We unaccustomed to courage, exiles from delight, live coiled in shells of loneliness until love leaves its high holy temple and comes into our sight to liberate us into life. Love arrives, and in its train come ecstasies, old memories of pleasure, ancient memories, histories of pain. Yet if we are bold, love strikes away the chains of fear from our souls. We are weaned from our timidity. In the flush of love's light, we dare be brave, and suddenly we see that love costs all we are and will ever be, yet it is only love which sets us free. You know, one of the things, the characteristics of queer people and of Black people that folks write you up about or talk about you about is, you're so loud. Or in some way, you know, you're taking up so much space. Being queer in some way or form had weaned me from my timidity. Okay. And this has nothing to do with some wonderful, big, thick butch that is running across my eyesight. It has everything to do with me. And embracing this expression. But that troubles people. People can sniff when you're free, when you're getting to be too much, you know. And I want to be clear, it's not just about presentation, you know, physical, it's them, but they can sniff. You moving, you know, we used to you shuffling and you taking steps. That's right, Eric. How dare you? You know, you're gonna be having conversation with people in the family, maybe people at work you used to be. But love weans us from our timidity. Can't nobody tell me nothing. What else do I want to say? And then we'll start. Yeah. I'm going to find this because it's important. But again, I also want to connect to the fact that we are not alone. We're part of a lineage. We're part of a queer ass lineage. And not just those that were here, we here, and those coming after us. We are not bereft of community. We are not bereft of protectors. Even in the bathroom, I've been in a couple of traditions where evidently, I don't know, Jesus or Allah, you know, they don't die in the bathroom. I appreciate every bowel movement I have. It's getting rid of what I do not need. I don't know why people turn the bathroom into this nasty place. It's nasty. Okay, you see how long you do without going to the bathroom. You know, it's gonna smell nice in there because nothing's happening, but you know, it will probably be problematic for you. But your bathroom will be nice if people come over to sniff. You know, I'm gonna find this because it's important, but yeah, it's embracing this hard work, difficult path of embracing our whole selves, and some people, our Buddha nature. It's not just that man that ran away from his family because, you know, I want to talk to his wife and his kid. I mean, I don't know. I do think that you could have gotten awakened closer to home and kept visiting. I mean, you know, yeah, we can interrogate that too. You know, we can interrogate that. We don't have to be scared. You know, not in this community. They got me here. You know, we don't, you know, so yeah, I got shit to say about that too. Because particularly if you're a woman and a mama, you know, you don't get to run away from home like that. Particularly us working class girls, right? Isadora Duncan gets to run away from home, but you know, I didn't, you know, although your kids are still gonna talk shit about you, whatever you do. Just saying, that's life. Okay. Whether you hover over them and do their homework and wipe their ass, you know, after they should already be wiping their ass, they still, that's life. That's the invitation for us to remind each other, you know, not to go, not dismissively. And I hate saying that because that's one of the gifts of queerness, of Blackness, is equanimity. It's always the fucking and. I don't need to say, oh, I'm smiling, so I don't know children are being shot in West Baltimore. And I honor the difficulty that they're going through by appreciating my own life and being as present as I can to the people in my life, including them. Okay. I am not wrong. Wrong is not my name. My name is my own, my own, my own. And I can't tell you who the hell set things up like this, but I can tell you that from now on, my resistance, my simple and daily and nightly self-determination may very well cost you your life. Getting free destroys people's lives because they was dependent on your enslavement. They had it programmed. Those of you who are project managers, there's things that's supposed to happen. And when you don't do that, you're costing them their lives. But that's not on us. Maybe sometimes people gonna cry in little tears and open eyes and say, you know, if you will join me in delusion, it could be so sweet. And having done that, it is sweet. Like, you know, like two addicts shooting up together. Of course, you know that don't end well. So I will just end with this. This is such a mercy and a blessing to be together. You know, I just want to let y'all know, because we forget. Within my lifetime, you could have lost your job for being together like this. Within my lifetime, some of y'all's families would have cut you off. Maybe they still will. I don't know. What we're doing is revolutionary, because the antidote to this bullshit is unity. Not just unity at the event. Unity as in, you know, calling out to the people you connect with in this community, say, okay, I want to kill this person at my job, talk to me. In the messiness of real life, I looked around in my mindfulness community and I thought about who had I done real life, laundromat life with, grocery store life with. You know, I'm sick. Can you bring me something? You sick. And I could have all the people I know, very few. And I'm so curious, because that's so not the culture I came out of. Go, what's happening in these mindful spaces that isn't happening? What's going on? We ain't doing drop-in culture, okay? And I thought that's everything is curated. So if you're brand new, you can just, you know, come in and be safe. I've never been safe in my whole goddamn life, and I don't offer safety. Okay, don't insult me, miss me on safety, because we ain't safe. Even if you're a white child at the University of Michigan, your ass still ain't safe. It'll be in the news because you're supposed to be safe. But what we can offer each other is true love of acceptance from staying on our lotus and trusting that you see what you see and you know what you know, whether it's joy, whether it's pain. So let's see, do I have a poem to go out with? Please check out the Touched by an Angel. I see that angel depends on different queer Black angels. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to call in some angels. I want to call in Miss Lillian Foster, who is this fabulous lesbian sister. I don't know if my light, yeah. Fabulous lesbian sister from the 30s, 40s, 50s, who with her partner, she's in the lesbian archives. I want to call in William Dorsey Swan, known as the Queen, Amazing brother. I've had one of the first drag clubs. I'm telling you, we Black queer people, we've been trying to help you out. Get on board this train. I want to call on, of course, Stormy DeLuvier. I want to call on Marsha P. Johnson, and let's love her and learn from how she wasn't treated well. All right, because often we just, oh, you so wonderful, but she was homeless. Okay. I want to call on Baynard Rustin, who they said, no, we love your work, but you're a communist and you're gay. I want to call on Black Gladys Bentley, because nobody wears a white tux like she did. I want to call on Alvin Ailey, Audre Lorde, of course, we called her in there, of course, James Baldwin. And I want to call on Miss Major Griffin Gacy, who's still here, transgender, doing work in San Francisco for transgender sisters that's been locked up, you know, and all the horrible things. Nobody, you know, I don't have to tell this community, but I get concerned when organizations grab up Black queer people and don't do shit for them. You know, it's the version of for the children. We're doing it for the children. You know, let us bring into our imagination and our love those people who are outlaws, including ourselves. And with that, I will, release all that Spirit brought into my heart and my mouth to all of you, and invite you at this moment to bring your wisdom in. As those of you who know me already know, I'm not a great believer in agreements, because those are contracts. But I do believe in the culture of grace and mercy, and acknowledging that we all grown and that no one is here to hurt or harm, and that we will do our best to hold you and care for you so that you might be your authentic and true self. Perhaps this might be the only place you can do that. So with that, please come in however you would like to. As a community, we always like to bring in pronouns, not as an act of a political act, but that we might connect to you in the way you connect to yourself. That's all we doing, babe. That's all. And you might want to tell on whose stolen land you're on. And yeah, we got time. We here, tell Eric say we gotta go. and he queer, so
you say we gotta go.
Yeah, Eric said, don't put that on me, girl. All right, yeah. Okay, so come on in. As I say, come to the altar. By the way, we don't have to give up. If there's some sweetness from previous spiritual traditions, you don't have to give that up here. Some places, you got to amputate yourself. We ain't doing that shit. So, there's part of my Christian stuff that I love, and some of that Muslim stuff that I love, and heathen stuff that I love, and I can bring it all here. So bring to the altar whatever you would like to.
Hey y'all, it's Ocean. It's good to see y'all. I've just been listening and doing some chores this evening, but I've been very present and I've really appreciated this whole offering, Miss Ayesha. This is medicine, and currently in in Tennessee, we are just fighting a fucking battle. Tennessee is the ancestral homelands of the Yuchi, Chickasaw, Shawnee, and Cherokee people, stolen from them. They're still here and they will be in the future. But yeah, we're just like really up against some intense legislation here with like drag and trans people and kids and health, and like it feels very terrifying. And so I just appreciate this community space and like all the things that you said. And I really like, for me, I'm like I've been in the legislature, I've been like testifying in front of the committees and the subcommittees, like I've been going in there and really like looking these people in their eyes and being like, how dare you, like how dare you, and also like I pray for you, hi, this is me, like this is who you're trying to basically like destroy. And I have like a really like, it's brought like my community together in this really powerful way. It's brought like, for me personally, and I think other people, it's drawn us close to like our like spiritual guides. Like my spiritual practice is like do or die, you know, because I have to deal with this, and like I have to go in there and I have to be protected and I have to, you know, be resourced. So yeah, this is just like such a gift, and all of the Bhumisparsha stuff has just been like really life-saving. Going through this, and I want to like share this recording with like other people in my community that have been doing that work, because it's just very healing to be held in this way, and by y'all and by, you know, all of our guides. And yeah, I'm gonna go back and listen to the recording, look at the recording again too, because it's just really sweet and really special. And I'm just like very grateful for you, Miss Ayesha, and all of y'all.
Hello, it's Marianne. And Eric, I was hoping that if you wouldn't mind turning the recording off. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing, Marianne. I know I'm like pulling all these picture frames out of nowhere. They're just like up in here in my bookshelves. I just saw this. I actually can't remember this artist's name right now. Forgive me. I'll drop it in Slack when I post the recording. But this postcard of this, I don't know, dare you say Yidam? You know, whatever. I know that's like, I don't know what that means. But to me, it's a Yidam. So that's that. And you can just take them in. And the caption at the bottom says simply, I am constantly unfolding. And I just felt inspired to share this with all of you. And I offer it as an offering to you, Miss Ayesha, of gratitude. And y'all know I can get windbaggy, so I'm gonna just stop right there because I could go off right now about the significance of what Miss Ayesha is making possible and giving us vocabulary for. In terms of getting enlightened, y'all, that's my opinion. Subject to discourse, but I think it's no joke.
I'm just going to hop right on the end of that because I just love this outlaw community where we're finding our crack in the pavement to grow. And like nature does, you know, grass, when it grows enough, cracks open sidewalks. And I'm very proud to be a part of this outlaw community. Let's fuck some shit up.
With ease.
With ease, yes.
And together, yeah.
and gusto when the time calls for it, because we'll be well rested.
That's right. Amen to that.
And with fabulous hairbreds. I've been admiring your hairbred all this evening, Eric.
I have a host of them. I'm growing my collection.
Mm. I particularly want to offer to those of you who are working, and particularly in areas of social justice or social support for people. It's a lot like it, and I'm a veteran. I've been in one thing or another since I was very young. And one of the things I like to share is so often, although we do the quote, you can't free yourself using the master's tools, we often can continue to bring in the master's paradigm. And I invite us all to think about, what is the outlaw community for the exhausted? What is the outlaw community for the confused? What is the outlaw community for what we're experiencing in these human bodies? And what is the structure of the work we might do together with that understanding? That the baby gonna get sick, you know, I'm exhausted. Because it seems to me, in all the movements I've been part of, we seem to think we can use those same approach because our mission is good, because we mean well, we want to do good work. And what, as I have watched happen over the course of my life, is if we don't investigate that, pretty soon we not going to be talking to each other, because you were supposed to be here at 9:07. You didn't get here till 9:45, or you didn't show at all. And now, we got stuff to tear each other up about. Please hold yourself as precious. Not because you here, you precious. That's it. That's all.
Thank you. Ms. Ayesha, for reminding me of Audre Lorde again in the Master's Tools. I hadn't really thought of it like that. But it really is, that really is the truth. That, I and, people I work for, organizations, are trying to use the Master's Tools to dismantle systems which are oppressing, people of all marginalized identities. And as someone who's working on behalf of people with marginalized identity, that sounds completely insane. So, like, all of a sudden, so I'm just kind of, wow, that's, there just needs to be another way. And I'm sure people are finding ways, but they're doing it in pockets. So I think it just reminds me that I need to find those people. I need to, because they're my people and they're around. And yeah, it's just a question of being connected, coming back to being connected in a community of, people trying to dismantle the Master's house in a different way. So thank you so much. And thank you everyone for sharing your vulnerability and truth.
Thank you. Yes.
Just, I was looking for one quote from Miss Audre Lorde and then found another one. And just very, very brief, and just feel inspired to offer it. And this is in the Cancer Journals. The only answer to death is the heat and confusion of living. The only dependable warmth is the warmth of the blood. I can feel my own beating even now.
I want to acknowledge what a fearful thing it is to be with people. And perhaps if it's not coming up now, it will come up that why did I do that? Why did I share that? And the gift of queer and the gift of Black is, again, is to leave that timid voice that would keep us all locked up. But it's hard. I know, it's being queer, being Black, it's transgressive. The hair as it grows out of my head is problematic. But I would encourage us to continue what comes up for me is that song, Keep Your Eyes on the Prize. You know, it says the only chains that I can stand are the ones we make hand to hand. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. You're trying to be free, y'all. You're trying to be free. And that, you know, some of us got greasy hands, oily hands, unwashed hands. The nails are ragged. But if we can just hold on, we can support each other in this journey of freedom. But it's hard. That's why Harriet's brother said, let me go back. I don't want to make what we're doing here like this is an easy thing to do. You know? It's not easy. That's why we not, you know, that's why this isn't a big crowd. But it's always like this. Inshallah, we spread the love and create ways of dismantling this stuff that is not taking the tools of the people that created it. It'll be more, but it's always a few people. That's how it works. It's always a few. We are blessed to be outlaws. But please hold yourselves as precious and realize, yeah, you know, we like to talk about Harriet and like she's an action hero. I've been to where she went, where she lived. It's swampy. It gets cold. She's out in them dark woods by herself. And she was scared. You know, she had a deeper awareness of things. She got hit in the head. And as I have reflected on it, I've said, no, all portals aren't gentle and sweet portals. And the idea that it should be is ridiculous. Embrace your queer, embrace your scars. You here, you made it. We experience trauma, but we are not trauma, in my opinion. Let's be careful with that. I experience pain, but I am not pain. Let's be careful with that. Because that's isolation. Please, yeah, please connect to that. If there's a voice that is saying, don't nobody want to hear from you, or this does not seem very coherent, this is the place to bring it, to offer that to the altar, that wisdom, that confusion, that anger, whatever it is, bring it to this altar we have. Don't be ashamed. Don't let these people trick you. Don't trick yourself into being ashamed. To bring to the altar whatever you want to. And you don't have to say anything, but put it on the altar. Well, as we come to the end of our time together, I want to make sure we have enough minutes to dance our way out. But in this moment, I'd like to offer dedication of our time together. They call it a dedication of merit. It's just a prayer. It's a prayer. And may the energy, may the vibrations of our time together, bringing in all that we are, the clarity, the confusion, the joy, the pain, may all of that connect to all here, letting them know they are not alone. We're not alone. And may that truth move out and touch all beings in all realms, awakening them to that interconnectedness that we all share. Awakening them and us to the truth that we are free. Ashe, Amen. Namo Amida Butsu, may it be so.